Hey everyone, it's Krista here with Blooms and Brushstrokes, and today we are working on part 3 of our sunflower tutorial. So this is going to be a lot of detail into our petals. That's our main focus today. Here we are at this point. So the leaves are pretty much done. The remainder of the detail work will likely be done with just the ink, the metallic ink, and then the black micron ink pen. And then the center as well, the last detailing, we will be doing that with the pen and the ink as well. And then the petals still need lots of color to make them come alive and burst open like a big, beautiful sunflower would. So that's what we're working on today. So let's get cracking, you guys. All right, we are back in action here, and we are going to start adding great detail with the paint into these petals. Okay, so to get going here, we're going to go with our number 8 Aqua Elite brush because I love it so much, and we're going to really work on these back petals very first. So we're going to go with this reddish orange one, which we were using the Scarlet on. My bad. Okay, so I'm just gonna have a little bit of fun. So I mean, again, I just really want to stress to you guys to have fun with the paint. You know, I understand if you want it to look similar to what I'm doing. I get that, and that's really flattering, but like just try to explore your paints and, oops, sorry, that's my oven going. Explore your paints and explore what you're up to with the color. You don't need to follow step by step. And especially if you're doing one that is orange and yellow, in orange and yellows, then it's not going to necessarily be the exact colors that I'm using. So we're going in this one again, we're dropping down. Actually, you know what? I do want to, before we get on that, I do want to add some bright orange into this. So I'm going to go with our vermilion orange. This is the Mungayo paints as well, you guys. And I'm just going to add a bit of that brightness in here with some of that orange. And so we're just putting it around the edges and really bringing that in just to add that brightness in there. I love how that looks with that scarlet behind it. So next up, we're going to go into this yellow one here. So we're working on the petals that are in the background. And on that one, we're going to go in with the yellow, just pure yellow. And again, this one's just bright, straight up bright. So we're going to add some of that just brightness kind of up the center and brightness around, and we're layering in the color now, adding more dimension. We're going to get to this purple one here, and I'm going to still use straight purple for that one. We are probably going to go in with the indigo after to add a little bit of depth as well, but we're going to go with the, not indigo, sorry, the violet. We're just using the straight purple right now. And so we're going pretty heavy on pigment, the paint itself, and pretty heavy with water. So we've got a lot to work with there. You know, and we just want to kind of layer in there. So around the edges here, you know, this is still part of the petal. So I do want to kind of do a little shadow on the parts of the petal that are flipping over, just so we kind of see that it's part of the petal. And so then again, we want to create that look of shadow. So we're going to go in with that darkness kind of right underneath that petal to create that shadow. Just like so. Awesome, that looks really good so far, you guys. And then we're going to go on to this orange one here. And I think I'm going to go in there with the yellow orange. And so again, we have the petal flipped over. Oh, shoot. We don't want that to be there. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to touch that up after. And so we're going to just drop that in there. Pretty. I like that color. I love the bright oranges right now and yellows. I'm always fairly drawn to them, but right now I'm really feeling the love for them. Just, you know, we're kind of in a weird season here in Saskatchewan. It's coming spring, but we still like have our 15th winter on the go. Like we just got some snow this week and all that good stuff. So this one here, again, I'm going to go in with the vermilion. I gotta move this around a little bit. Sorry, you guys, just to be able to work it without getting my hand in the paint. There we go. Texas put his little footprint in there for y'all. You're a little turkey. I know you want to paint so badly. So we just got to fix that up a bit. I never stress too much because I can always kind of regroup here. Especially when he decides he wants to be Picasso, which, you know, it happens for us. Nobody. From time to time. No. No, Texas. Okay. So we've got our, well, actually, let's put a little bit of a line here. And a smidge bit of a line there. Okay, right on. Awesome. Okay, I'm loving that all so much so far, you guys. And so now we can start working on our next, the petals that are closest to us. So we're going to start with this yellow. Oh geez, I got this all over the map. Start with our yellow one, and I'm going to go in with the yellow orange. And so this is all about just like layering in color, really creating some depth in there and kind of just making this now your own. So this is the fun part of painting where you just get to go in and just enjoy the whole process of putting paint down and moving it around and really just being creative with it. I love to tell everybody that I have like a specific technique that I always use, but it's really all about the feeling that I have in each painting. So sometimes it's hard for me to recreate exactly what I've done because of that exact, like I don't feel the exact same every time I paint a picture. So there's that for you guys. So I think maybe I'll let that dry, but I was kind of feeling like I want a little bit of bright yellow in this little part the petal that will go over. It doesn't need to be totally, but I don't know, I kind of feel like it needs something. So I'm going to go in there with that just for fun. I'm quite liking how that is looking. I'm just going to specifically work on this petal right now until it's done because I'm feeling like we're in good shape with how it's looking. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to use the orange color. And the orange is going to add a little bit more of that shadow kind of look. Yes, I know, buddy. You love the painting. Because again, if we overwork it, we're going to lose some of what we got going on. And we want to make sure we still have the look of that petal. So you know, I think we're doing really good for color on that one. In here, like on this side part here, we could probably add a little bit of a color for a petal once it's all dry, just because it's really abrupt. Like all of a sudden there's just this white. So we can add something there once it's all dry. Okay, let's move on to this purple one. So I'm going to go in with the violet, that just straight violet. And we're going to just put down some of that color. And then we're going to, as we do, move that color with water on our brush. Okay, get out of the paint. Like he's literally, okay, Texas. I don't want that to dry on me. Okay, no, don't lick the paint. You're so weird. Oh, what a character. Tex. Ooh, we're making that one intense, which I love. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to let that dry. And there was just a bit too much water in there. So I'm just going to let that dry and then I'll go in and finish that one off with a little bit of the line. A little bit of line work with the watercolor paint. So let's move on to this orange one. And I love the look of the orange. So I'm going to go in with the straight orange actually. So we've got some of that green leaf coming in here and that's all good. Like no sweat, you know, we're going to blend that in a bit and get that color kind of moving around a bit. And so it's no problem. Like, you know, the idea is just to keep it fairly organic and let that paint kind of flow. And if there's a little bit of green in there, no biggie. No big deal. Oh, I love that. We're going to add some orange coming up here. And maybe we'll go in there with like a bit of that bright yellow as well. And just slap a little bit of that down. It's looking really pretty, you guys. Okay, so we're onto this yellow one and I want to keep this one really yellowy. So I'm going in with the lemon yellow. We're keeping it yellow. And then when that's dry, I'll go in with a little bit of a darker yellow and just add some of the line work in there. Maybe we put a little bit of the yellow orange down in here, just a bit. Yeah. It's looking good. Okay, and we'll go on this one here. We're going to go in with the violet again. And just drop in that color. And we're going to go move it around a bit with brilliant. Looks good. And put a little bit of line around the edge there. And soften that with a bit of the brush being wet so it naturally flows up the petal a bit. Great. And then we're on our last one, the yellow. So I'm going to go into this last one with the yellow orange as well. Okay, I think those look pretty good. So we're gonna let those dry. They definitely need some more. Oh, I need to put some purple down here. Actually, that's still wet. Okay, so those are gonna have to dry, and I do wanna add add some more color into them. Then we're gonna go just a bit deeper with everything on the last pass. So I wanna kind of fix up this leaf a little bit. So I'm just gonna go in with some of that dark green color that we had mixed up last time, which was the deep green plus the gray green. Good enough. And I just kind of want to bring that in there. Just because we had a little bit of a blip there, and that's okay. We're just gonna kind of put a little bit of paint down. It's all good. It's not the exact same color. It doesn't need to be. That's the thing. You don't need to overthink it. And we're just gonna kind of blend that in. Oh, get out of the paint. I don't know why you're, look at, there's a whole cup of water here. Get into that. Like you'd think the cat does no water. Okay, I think that's touched that up enough. And so what you can do actually is go into the leaf as well and draw some of those, just a very fine line. And we can go in and do a little bit of that kind of vein work without, like, because we'll go over it with our pen and ink as well, like our micron. But you can go and start putting some of that in there with some paint, which is cool. And go ahead like that. We can do the same on this one. So we're just dropping in those lines, just a little bit of detail. And it's okay if they bleed, like it's all good that there's like other paint down there. No sweat, that's all good. I love how those look. I think they look really good. Okay. So now we're gonna have fun with going a bit more intense. We got our layers down. This one is pretty much done, but I want to go in with some bold blast of color in there yet. So, and we're gonna do that with all of these now. Like these petals are this is gonna be our last pass, with maybe the exception of a few touch-ups here and there. So we're gonna go in our background, and we're gonna go in with some intense color. So this has pretty much been the scarlet. And we're gonna go in with, oh, that's pretty pinky color. Maybe we want that. Yeah, let's do it. So we're gonna go in with the, I don't want to disrupt the cat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the permanent rose, I think it's called. I just have perm rose down, but we're gonna go in with that. So this is like a fairly pinky color. And we're gonna put in our like final little kind of detail around the edges. Oh, that might bleed a bit, but that's okay. No. Okay, so these lines, we don't want to blur them too much. So just a little bit of water, and you're just gonna kind of smooth the edge of them out a bit. And just to soften that edge so it's not so intense. Brilliant, I like that. I kind of like the idea of having a bit of orange up in this. So we're gonna do that. Oh, geez. Mm-hmm. Okay, I like it. I like it. Yep, that's looking good. I really love that one. I think it looks really beautiful. And now we're going to go into this next background one, this yellow one. So we're going to go in there with, let's go in that one with the vermilion. On this one, and we're going to go and kind of do our last kind of color with that. We may add a titch bit of something brighter once it dries as well, but I quite like that. Maybe let's go in with a teeny bit of scarlet. Just a titch. Let it bleed in there a bit. Ooh, yeah, that's kind of fun. Kind of cool. Okay, so then, you know, we can't forget about in here. And we got to get color down in there. Can be intense. Okay, looking good. And then we'll go into this purple one here. And I think with that one, we're going to go with a blue. We're going to go in with a blue. And so I'm actually going to use, cat hopped off here finally. Yep. Number 818. It's this blue here. I can't even read my writing. That's how terrible I am. We're going with that blue there. And we're going to do that on this purple one. Yep, I like it. So we're being crazy here. Totally. Again, same kind of thing as I did the last time. We just want to soften that edge a bit, but we don't want that color to go crazy. And we'll take a very fine tip of that and do the line. Okay, maybe we'll just go a little bit, just a titch bit in there. Just a little. And you can even lighten it up a bit by cleaning off your brush. How fun is that? Ooh la la. Looks pretty good. So again, like I did, I softened the edge and I can soften this middle line. Same thing, a little bit of water on the tip of my brush, but not a ton, and then it just softens it. Kind of looks interesting with that blue, but I want this sunflower to be super unique and out there a little bit. So we're doing it. So this orange one here, I'm going to flip this around a bit, you guys. So this one here, we're going to go in with, let's try this. Rose Madder. So it's a red, kind of like a cherry red. So we're going to go into this one here with that. Again, shadow. Think shadows, think lines. Where would you see a shadow? That kind of a thing. And here we know we'd see a shadow kind of coming underneath where that petal flips over, so we kind of go there, just like so. Awesome. I'm really loving the vibrance of this. It's so much fun, you guys. This is definitely what I was feeling when I needed something vibrant and fabulous. So we're going to work on this last orange one here. And we're going to go in with that. No, let's go with that. What are we going to mix together here? We'll go scarlet. With straight orange. I think we'll keep this one pretty orange-like, I think. Vermilion with a little bit of scarlet. Awesome. I mean, you might be thinking right now, like, whoa, Krista, this is kind of looking wonky. But really, when we start to get the gold ink and then the micron pen in there, it just all comes together so perfectly. So don't be fretting on me here. Okay, so let's go in and do this purple one here. I want to go into that one with the indigo, which is, you know, it's kind of the bluey, but the black indigo is this one here. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do for this one to finish her off. So we got some good dimension. I like it. I think that looks cool. And you can just see what that layering does. Like it really starts to add in some pizzazz into the picture, you know, rather than being so one-dimensional. And when I first started watercolor painting, that was the thing. I just didn't add enough dimension into it. And so consequently, everything looked really flat. But I felt always in a rush. Like I wanted to rush the painting. And the thing about doing a beautiful watercolor painting is, I mean, you can do them pretty quickly, but you also don't need to rush a good thing, you know? And so it's all good. Like take your time and just enjoy it and like watch those layers kind of build up on each other and have fun with it. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit more of that down. Cool. This one's kind of looking wonky, kind of had a weird thing go on there. So I'm just going to touch it up a bit. Okay, we're on this last orange one, or this orange one here. And I want to go in with mixture of scarlet and vermilion straight up together intensively. No, do I want that? Yeah, I do. Yep, I do. Again, soften. Beautiful. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I don't know. This one's kind of gotten wonky on me, so I'm probably going to have to touch this one up. I think I just added too much water at the end, but no sweat. Okay, we're on our last yellow. No, there's two yellows. We're on this second last yellow one, and I'm going to go in just with straight yellow. I want to maintain that yellowness. So I just want to be, you know, I just want to go in there with lots of watercolor paint on there. Just true yellow. And I'm just putting down a couple lines of that in the parts that are kind of folding over. I'm just going to add a little bit of that lemon yellow in there. Yeah, perfect. I like how that's true and yellow. So then we're on our last purple one, truly our last purple one. And I like the idea of using that indigo. So I'm just going to be a little bit mindful about this indigo this time around, just because the other one, I think I might have overworked it a little too much. Dry off or clean it off, dry it off, and then just soften those lines. Clean it off, soften those lines. If you like them less soft looking, don't soften the lines, just let them be kind of more bold. I like how that looks as it is. I do. I think that'll start to get overworked. And then we're on this last one here. And so we're going to go in with just the orange. And just do a little bit of... What are you doing? Hey, Papa, you. Don't you be breaking that. You can't go out there. Sorry. Okay, let's soften those a bit. Beauty. Like how that looks. Okay. I think, you know what? I'm not going to work anything more. This one, I'm going to touch up a teeny little bit. Just a little bit here because I just got a little carried away on me and I just want to kind of go over that. I actually quite like how that looks. Looks really good. So I'm feeling like this blue one is a little bit out of place. Just because there's nothing else with any blue. So I'm just going to add a teeny little bit of blue to, I was feeling excited about that, each one of these purple ones, just a little bit of that same blue. And so it can just be something so simple as here on our side, we're just going to like pop a little bit of that blue in there. So it just makes it like a little bit cohesive, and it doesn't need to be a ton of it. And even we can go, hey, like maybe we want to drop a little bit of blue here. You know, just to kind of add a little pop of that too. So it's not totally random and out of place. Great. Oopsie daisy. And then on this one too. And I think I'll do the same kind of general, you know, a little bit on these kind of flipped over parts. Can drop the color down. Soften it. Okay. That's the thing about how I paint. It's truly all about how it feels. So I can go through a painting a few times and be like, wow, I really love that or don't love that, you know, and then I can just kind of play around a bit. I don't ever, you know, you can hate a painting one day. I just posted a short of anemones and I did not love them. But then as I started looking at them, I was like, I don't hate them. Okay, you guys, I'm not gonna work those anymore. But the one last thing I wanted to do was add a little bit of this blue that I've been using into the center. And I'm just gonna go in with a fairly dry brush and pigment on it and just pop a little bit of that in there because I think it'll be cool. Ooh, yeah, money, 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 money. I love that. Whoa. I got my #1 script to do this. This is what I typically use. I haven't been to the art store in a while, so I haven't had a chance to look for something finer, but I plan to. All right, well, we let everything else totally dry up. Oh, we didn't do one over here. Okay, I'm just gonna put a tiny little bit of purple. I don't know, this could be bad. Nope. I feel like we need one over here, but now I've got... I think that's all we need to do is just like a little something down here. So it doesn't look like a gaping hole. Okay. Shake up your ink really good. And we're gonna do very kind of jagged, rough outline with this. And ever so lightly. So it's just going to be a bit of a slower process for this one. But doesn't need to be too slow. And you can just go kind of in the general area where your veins are. And just make, well, however you like them to look. Mine, I like them to be a little more free flowy kind of looking. But you know, so the faster I get going, the thicker my lines seem to be. So I just want to go over them ever so slowly. And just enjoy the process of it and how pretty it looks. And if you don't like the gold, you could do silver. And if you don't like the silver, you don't have to do any of this at all. You do not, you do not. All right, we're gonna start on these leaves or petals. Actually, no, no. You guys, I kind of forgot a little part in our process here. Sorry, but I forgot to take the masking fluid off. So to get it off, you just have to rub it off. And it'll leave those little spots totally white. So in order to finish these off, this is going to get a little bit more detailed in here. So we're going to do the center as well. I think they're pretty dry. The center ones, we're not going to do anything with them. We're just going to, well, we are going to draw some squares around them when we use our black pen. We just did splatters in the middle with the gold on that one. No sweat. Oops. Okay, got those all off. All right, so we're gonna use our #1 script to do this last little detail here. on each one of these, and I'm just flipping it this way so that I can get a better handle on it. So in order to do the water droplets, obviously water droplets, they will look a little bit shiny. So we want to use our number one script, and we honestly don't want to do a ton of pigment, but we want to create the shape of the circle. So we want to go kind of around the outer edge with that yellow, but leaving quite a bit of it white. So you get the look of that shininess of, I'm gonna spray this. And I'm just using on the yellow petal here, I'm just using lemon yellow. So lightest one I can get. And I'm just cruising around the outside of those droplets and leaving a little bit of that white to create that illusion of that shininess. Same thing I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna go in with the purple, and I'm just gonna use the straight purple on this. And so we're just gonna do our line around them. And we're just doing the circle, and then we're filling in quite a bit of it with the color, leaving quite a bit out. And then you can totally clean off your brush. I'm not going to do this at all with the yellow, I don't think. I think I'm just going to let those be, but for the purple, you can have a totally clean brush and just kind of pick up a little bit of that paint to soften the color on the inside. So it's a little bit of a detailed work. If it's easier to just do a circle around them, go ahead. Leave a little bit of the white out. All good. It kind of leaves the look of a water droplet. Perfect. Okay, back to where we were. Little side track there. Whoopsie. Okay, so we're going up our petals now, and just when I did the sunflower, I was more smooth. I'm going to keep with this kind of look where it's just a bit more free-flowing, jagged, less smooth, but you can do the more smooth if you prefer that. It's your painting, you can do whatever you want. So I'm kind of totally doing the outline. Of each petal. Doo-doo-doo. So this is going to take a few minutes to get this all totally done, because I am going a bit slower than I would have probably with the sunflower, the original sunflower, just because the lines were a lot thicker. So just take your time. No need to rush a good thing. And I find the ink, after it sits for a while, it can start to settle. The gold metallic flecks can start to settle, so you might have to give it a good stir. Every once in a while, just get in there. But again, be careful if you have lots of ink on your brush. I just had today, I had this, I was out coming home from the city, and I had this visual of a painting. And I was like, oh my God, I got to do that. But in my head, I was like, no, you have to finish this sunflower before you get onto anything else, because if I don't finish it, then I will be on a tangent with something else. So here I am. I'm finishing this because I had this vision today. I'm doing a women's group. It's kind of like group therapy, but somatic therapy. And we were talking today, and I was telling them that, you know, some people daydream or whatever, they have these thoughts in their head, and I think I'll be cruising and I'll have this, boom, this image pop in my head, and I can't get it out till I paint it. And sometimes they come out exactly how I think in my head, and sometimes they don't, which is kind of funny, you know. So we'll see what ends up happening, but I'm going to make this like a little bit of gold there just for brightness. But yeah, so anyways, people think thoughts all day. And I mean, I'm not to say that I don't, but a lot of the time for me, let's move this so you guys can see. For me, I think in art. You know, it sounds crazy, but I honestly was telling my sister this one day. I was like, you know what? I think I've made it. I finally got there to the point where I think in art. You know, like I think, oh, I don't know. I can't, it's hard to describe, but it's not all the time, but I will have these visualizations of art. Oh, this would be really pretty, or that. Oh, you know, and I'm like, yes, I've always wanted to get to that point where I didn't have to think so hard about the composition of a painting. You know, they kind of started flowing to me. And that's kind of where I'm at lately. Like I just have these ideas, and sometimes I'll have an idea of a flower, but I can't quite think of exactly how that flower should look. So I like Google them, and I kind of research them, and just so I have an idea. Lots of times I paint from photos that I've taken because I have a humongous garden. And sometimes I paint from like seed catalogs, whatever I see in them. Just whatever I can get my hands on, to be totally honest. Ooh, you guys, I'm loving that so far. Okay, so to kind of finish up this little purple one, I'm going to go in with the violet and just add in a little bit of dimension. It'll be fine. Just kind of keep it like that. So we are going to go over the next step with the pen. And then to finish off, we're going to splatter some color around, including some of this ink. So this tutorial is going to be a bit longer than I wanted, but we're so close to the finish line. Let's just do it up. So number 3 micron black pen. I'll start here in the middle because it's totally dry. And so what I did in the first one is I draw these squares, just kind of like that. I should do this. All over. I don't know what propelled me to start with that shape. So for sure the ones that are white, make sure that you're leaving those white, you know? That just adds like a little bit of dimension. And then I go and fill it up with these squares, and they can be all over, the shape of them, the size of them, where they are located. Just put a ton of them in there. You can do them around some shapes, some colors, but this is going to give that look of those little seeds forming in there, whatever, those little tiny flowers. Oops. They can be big, they can be small. And if you want to do a triangle shape, you want to do rectangle, just do whatever shape you want. Or if you like it just without the black micron pen, we'll do that as well. Like, just leave it au naturel. Or maybe go in with the gold ink. Maybe that's what you want to do instead. There's no right or wrong. Just remember that always when you're creating art, there is no right or wrong. And I know it's hard for us to let that go sometimes because it was for me for years. I'm my biggest critic, and I would be like, well, that doesn't look good. That doesn't look right. That's wrong. But there is no right or wrong. And once I started to believe that, then my art really flourished. So just remember that, you guys. There is no right or wrong. Nobody's judging you. If they are, that's their problem. So that's good enough in there for that. And I really love how that looks. And if you want, you can go make some smaller ones just to add like a little bit of detail in there. But you get the idea. So let's start over on this side because this is still drying up. And we'll start with our leaves first. I'm just going to switch this around so I don't get my hand in it. So we're going to start with this leaf here. And we're going to just have that loose, kind of ripply, I don't know how you'd want to call this kind of line work, but nobody. But keep it loose and get all that done in there. Then work on the next one. Oh, it's so pretty. This is where, to me, it really starts to come alive when you start to add in those details. Okay, I'm going to switch it over to this side because it's dry over here. So I'm just flipping it around and I'm working on these petals. Ooh, I like that. Oh. And I'm letting them be free on the ends. Some of them, if you want to. Cute. Very cute. I love using the ink on these. I just think it looks so beautiful. Okay, I'm rotating. Hopefully you guys can see pretty decent what I'm doing. So I'm just letting my hand kind of flow where it wants to flow. I like it a lot. Yeah, that's cool. Wow. Amazing. Okay, I think that looks really, really great, you guys. So I'm just gonna bring this sunflower over so you guys can all see it. So there are some differences. As you can see, these lines are smooth. Mine are more jagged in this one. I've got double the lines going on in this one, but I'm only doing a single line in the one I just did. I'm only doing the single line in that. I feel I might add some line work in the petals with the black to kind of compensate for the lack of doing the double lines. I think we'll do that. But you can see, and then I splattered that gold in there and some green. So we'll do that same splattering at the end. But I think I'm going to go in and do a little bit of, do I want to do that or just let her be? Oh, hard to say, you guys. I don't want to go and add too much, but I almost feel like we need a little bit of line work in here to give some detail. I do know we got to do this. Do we want to do, or just let it be? I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to go add a little bit of line work in there because that's what I do. And it's going to add some more depth to it. So this part you guys don't have to do if you don't want to. If you're just happy with how it is already, I totally understand. For me, I just need a little something more in my petals. And that often happens for me where I just think they need to look a little bit more detailed, or something needs to happen there for them. And to me, that's just like going in and adding a little bit of line work in there. So if you're not comfortable with that, I get it. And it's no sweat. If you're comfortable to go add a bit of line work in there, just kind of follow me. I'm just adding some short little kind of lines to just add some shape, some depth, some shadow, some texture to those petals. And you don't need to overdo it at all. Just a little something in there. I think gives it that just nice little touch. Yes, exactly kind of what I was feeling. Sometimes I think the line work almost makes it look just a little bit less perfect, which I like. Or maybe it makes it look more perfect, actually. What are you up to up there, buddy? Yeah, I think I dig that. This is the jam I was looking for. I just needed something bright. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial of the springy, vibrant, wild sunflower. I know I really, truly have. It's just kind of taken me out of my comfort zone a little bit and trying something new. And I really love using all the different bright colors and trying something that maybe I don't normally. When I paint flowers, I try to paint them fairly close to the colors that they would actually be. And this is not to say that a sunflower wouldn't be purple, because they're all different colors, especially when you look at them in the different lights. They can really look amazing. Okay. Ooh, this is way longer than I thought it was going to be, this video. Lastly, we're going to go and sprinkle on some green just by the leaves. So we're going to take whatever green is on your palette. Whatever green you have, go mix it up, get lots of water on it, dilute it lots. I'm going to use my #1 script to just splatter in some green. Wow, but it's always a party going on back there. And then I'm just going to splatter gold on this one. In the actual sunflower, I splattered some of each color, but in this one, I'm just going to do gold. So what I like to do is I like to put down a lot of gold here and then blast it out. So we're going to start with lots of gold in the middle. Get your gold, like if you can see this, get it so it's like almost dripping. And put down lots in the center, where there would actually be a ton of little dots. If you were looking at a sunflower, that's what it would look like. And then as it goes out into the petals, we just want them to be light in the gold, but heavy in here. So it'll take a while to dry, and that's okay. Ooh la la. I didn't sign my name yet, so I'm just gonna put that. And I've moved to just K25 because it's the year and my last name's long. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for me. So if you like the tutorial, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. All right, you guys, so that's going to wrap it up for our sunflower tutorial. We made it through. We did it. And I'm happy because I love it. The colors are exactly what I wanted to see. I'm just like, I love it. It's just beautiful. So I hope you guys liked it as well. I know it's not this exact one, but I just can't do any more of the same. So I did 2 of them back to back. That was too much. This was lots of fun for me. I really enjoyed it. So if you guys enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And if you like the idea of me doing different series of certain things, if they're a little bit more complex, please let me know, because then I can totally do that. No problem at all. So please let me know. And yeah, I'll try to do more of that whenever there's something a little bit more complex. So thank you guys so much for following along with my first 3-part series. I've never done one before, so it took me probably 2 weeks in all to get this all done because I have been very busy. But here we are. I got her finished. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll check you guys next time.